morning. It might look a little bit brighter on the screen to you right now, but the sun hasn't even crested up over the horizon yet, just behind where I'm fishing. It's definitely still a little bit dark. Lucky for the cameras, they can pick up a lot more light. I've been here about an hour. I took my time setting up the cameras. My line's been out for about 5 minutes. It's not been out long. And yeah, if you watched the last video I did in this spot, you can see that conditions are pretty close right now as far as the way it started last time. The only difference is there's a lot of fog today. Pressure's going to change as the morning progresses. We do have a bit of rain and some overcast skies that are going to be coming in a few hours. So it's kind of like a reverse almost. Last time it started out kind of cloudy and got sunnier. This time it's starting out sunny and it's going to go cloudier. Temperature wise, it won't be that much of a difference. It's a little bit warmer to start than it was last time. It's about 14 degrees today. Last week it was about 9 when I got here. But I've baited up my spots. You know, because I kind of want to make sure I cover everything. I baited up where I landed my second fish and hooked the third fish that I had on that I unfortunately lost, that big one. I baited up that spot again, hoping that they're going to recognize that as a feeding spot now. I baited up this margin spot where I got the first fish and saw all that activity because, well, it would make sense. And if you remember from the last video when I talked about there being a culvert that goes under the road that puts some flow out at different times through the day, could be for random lengths of time. I put some bait out probably 2 rod lengths from this margin, you know, just from the reeds, about 2 rod lengths out, going in a direction. So I threw it out with a spoon, so I didn't reach the flow, but I put it in a nice long kind of wide line going out to the flow from here, so I can fish anywhere along that or just past it, reaching the flow. And hopefully that scent should cycle around and push out into the open where those fish are. It's also a little bit deeper over there. So that's where I'm starting. My line's over there right now. There's been a number of fish rise over there. A lot of bass taking things off the surface, but there's definitely been at least 3 carp that I know for sure that I either saw or, you know, see the big tail come up. It's obvious it's definitely a carp. And as I say that, one rises right over the bait there, and I get a little line bump. So I'm quite excited for this morning. I don't want to keep rambling on. Very specific tactic based on my experience here last time. We'll go into that in detail a little bit later. But yeah, I'm set up. It's a beautiful morning. Didn't spill my coffee this time, so I get to finish it. And hopefully the fish will cooperate. Bite knocked over my coffee. Feels like a good fish. Just under the surface up there. I had to had to change things up a little bit. I was fishing to the right, as I mentioned earlier, just to the edge of that flow, but the flow stopped. Like I said, it's unpredictable. And so I left it, had some knocks, some bumps, missed what I thought was a bite, probably just a catfish. And then the cormorant came in and started diving and feeding on small fish all over where my bait is. So I moved my line to the left and fished this spot out here. Had a couple knocks there. Then I stood up and scared the cormorant away. And the cormorant, like, I could still see him flying in the distance. Like, he wasn't even that far away for very long. And carp were rising over the bait again. So I put it back and boom. Didn't take long at all. It's just plodding around in the margin here. I've seen his tail, but you know, these fish can have huge tails and be 5 pounds. Such a small hook on there. I don't want to have a hook pull like last week. Still baiting up my margin spot just in front here. Some monster carp tackle, coconut boilies, some maize, a little bit of particle. Nothing's been on it yet. This fish just gets to the edge of these reeds and doesn't want to come any closer. Strong fish. I don't think he's that big. Strong though, real strong. Come on. Not bad. No complaints for that. Kind of a longer looking fish. What a scrap though, man. This thing just doesn't want to quit. Just when I think he's about to kind of do that roll up onto the surface and start to come in, takes another jolt away. Yeah. Come on. Chunk. Didn't like the look of the net. Oh, my pop-up came off. Man. A lot of traffic for early Sunday morning. A lot of like company vehicles. Like, I know I'm in an industrial area over here, but you'd think more people would have the day off. Oh, smallmouth. This fish is not going to be hooked overly well. Come on, get in the net. Get in the net. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a mid-double. That's a good fish. That fish was 15 or 16 pounds. He's not as long as I thought, but he's fat. Good belly on this fish. Okay, I need to set a few things up and we'll get a better look at him. That hook just fell out. Very, very small hook, but this fish has got a tiny, very, very tough mouth. And I think I know why. based on where I caught them from. There we go. What a beauty. Fat fish. Really strong. You see the big paddle on it. That's what I was talking about. It comes up, you see this big tail, you think the fish is a lot bigger. But this fish had no quit. It stayed along the margins, just didn't want to come up to the surface. When it finally did, saw the net, took right back off again. So happy with this fish. And the coolest thing is that after losing the one I did last week, as depressed as I've been all week, I know that there's bigger ones over here. Trying to do self takes at the same time, and it's not going overly well. Smile. Okay, I'm gonna get this fish back. Editing this is gonna be a pain because I'm focusing on too many things at once when I should just be enjoying the quality of this fish. Yeah! Oh, I don't think this is a carp. If it is, it's small. It's fighting like a carp. I was just talking to Kevin. Kevin's fishing one of our other spots back closer to home. All he's had is a big channel cat, no carp for him. And right in the middle of trying to send a text, a couple of quick bites, like the pull, and then a drop back, and yeah, he was on there. So I'll have to see what it is. It's kicking up some good swells. Whatever it is, it's got a good tail on it. Not really taking any drag, just kind of fighting and holding to its spot. So we'll have to see. Okay, stand corrected. Oh, it is a carp. Nice color on this one. Hard to see. Just a little guy, maybe 6 or 7 pounds, but that's fish number 2. And there we go. Oh, stop. Fish number 2. off the same spot over there towards the flow where there hasn't been any flow for a while. Went a little while without even a bump, so I put some more bait out, and that was about 5 or 6 minutes ago. It wasn't long, and yeah, ripped off again. I actually thought it was a catfish at first, the way it was fighting, but a little small guy, but the same body shape, same big belly as the other fish. So maybe there's something about that spot over there with it being a little bit deeper, a little bit rockier, a little bit less silt. There's definitely some zebra mussels over there, which would explain the tougher mouths on the two that I pulled over there compared to the ones from last week. I am really happy with that. I'm going to talk about the rig in a minute. One thing's consistent is that the rig I'm using is the same one from last week, and it's doing the job, but it's just barely hooking these fish in the tip of the mouth. And one thing I want to make sure I get covered is a little bit better hook hold. Okay, I gotta get this fish back. Yeah, I want a better hook hold on what I'm doing, so I tied up a rig with a slightly larger hook. I went from a size 8 to a size 6 with the next rig, and a slightly larger pop-up. So I'm going to put that on next, see if that makes a difference on both the bites and the hook hold, and yeah, go from there. Okay, just to go over the rig that I'm using today. The same rig I used last week, but last week was the first time I tried it. I'm really liking it. Not a very long hook link. This is the 20-pound ESP strip tease in the camo pattern. As I've mentioned before in other videos, it's a hook link material that sometimes it's good for me, sometimes it's not, but what I really like is how well it blends into the bottom where I'm fishing. The gravel, you know, little bits of weed in the silt and stuff like that, this hook link just disappears. So I've got an anti-tangle sleeve. I always use a longer anti-tangle sleeve. Stretch of the coated braid. I have one of the little Raven brown split shots for trout that I use for trout fishing. They really help blend in having that brown paint on them. They don't have any real shine to them that throws the fish off. Then a little bit of stripped braid here, just so it can move around a little bit more free. And as we get right to the business end, that's knotless knotted onto that hook, but instead of having a hair off the back of it, I've cut that tag end, put a little swivel on with some floss, and I've tied on a 12mm mainline pineapple pop-up. Then there's a little hook bead. Now this hook is a size 8. It's a very small hook, that's why I used it to go with the small bait. This got me 3 hookups last week, and now 2 so far today. So I'm quite happy with this. Now what I've got on my line now is exactly the same, but with 2 subtle changes. Everything you see here is exactly what's on my line now out there, except I've gone up to a size 6 hook, so a slightly larger hook, and a 15mm pop-up. So a slightly larger bait, slightly larger hook. I want to see if that's going to make a difference, if it will get me any more bites, if it'll get me a bigger fish, or more importantly, if the slightly larger hook will actually give me better hook hold. First time, well, I guess this is my second time using the German rig. First time really making an effort to use it. I really like this rig so far. So that's the setup, that's what's out there. I'm just following that behind a little 1.5 ounce inline lead. It's not overly deep where I'm fishing, so let's get back at it. Whoa. So I was just sitting there. You know, I had made a couple phone calls, talked to Kevin, talked to Demir, see how they're doing today. And you know, some of the guys sending me some inappropriate, you know, internet pictures on the phone, having a good laugh about them. And yeah, my guard was down. I was not paying attention at all. And I just had a savage take to the right. I'm still fishing off that spot over here. Savage take that actually knocked the tripod over and started to drag the rod in the water. I'm hoping, I just changed the battery on the action cam. I'm hoping the action cam caught that. And this fish just peeled down the bank to the right, went all the way into that corner, which has got me worried because there's a bunch of snags out there. And then once I was able to get the camera on and actually get some tight line to it, the fish decided to go straight out into the middle, where again, there are some serious snags. So I'm hoping this is a better quality fish. It's definitely fighting a lot harder. And it is staying up in the water column. Hopefully using that lighter lead that I'm using is helping make that difference to keep the fish up in the layers rather than right down digging in the bottom. Starting to come in a little bit. Let me gain some line. Oh, he's playing shy. He's coming in. He's gonna take off. This fish is gonna bolt on me. He thinks I'm stupid. Oh, that's all right. No, I don't think it's as big as the first one, but it's definitely bigger than the second one. Nice orange color to it. Oh, yeah, that's a good fish. This is a better fish. It's not as big as the one I lost last week. But it's the biggest one of the day. This is better than the first one, I think. This is a good sized fish. Oh man, it's hard to tell. It looks so good. Oh, get in the net. Yes. Oh man. Oh, you know what? Maybe about the same size as the one this morning. Not quite the same size belly. But that's a good looking fish. Yeah, I'm happy with that. It's not a monster, but man, that's a nice fish. Nice colors to this one for sure. There we go. Fish number 3. So yeah, not quite as big as the first one. It's definitely in between the two, but a good solid fish, good really strong fish. Look at the tail on that. The biggest tail yet today. This is a quality fish. Really strong, long, you know, not overly lean, but not overly plump. Just a good, solid fish. I'm so happy with this. So happy with how things are turning out. And this was on the change from the 12 mil pop-up to the 15 mil. and the size 8 hook up to the size 6, much better hook hold. Further back in the mouth, dug right in. So larger hook, larger pop-up definitely made a difference as far as keeping that hook hold. So I'm gonna get this one back, and yeah, I don't know what else to say about today. I am so excited that it's going this way. Yeah, it's this video is shaping up to be pretty good. Did some artsy shots in the dark this morning. I don't know how well they turned out. Haven't done much in the way of artsy shots through the day, but did a rig talk. Had 3 fish so far. So I don't know how much more I'm going to do here. Maybe 1 more fish, and then wrap up this video, so call it done. So at least I'm not worried about the batteries. Because which one did you have hooked up to the camera? Is that the Canon or the aftermarket?
Aftermarket.
Okay.
The Canon should be fully charged, so that will last you at least 3 hours.
Okay, so the Canon one's in the bag. If the aftermarket was at 88 minutes when I turned it on, I've got about 20. I got about 20 minutes left on it now.
Well, it's not too bad.
Yeah,
as fast as I thought it was.
Well, I'm also using the action cam, right? Like, I've been using that. And while I've been doing self-takes with the phone, somehow one of the words I used triggered the video. So there's actually a side angle of me holding the second fish, talking to the camera. So it worked out pretty neat. But yeah, the self-takes, I just put it in the little red tripod with the phone holder. And all I have to do is yell smile and take the picture.
Nice.
So that's working out better than last week.
That's
But
good.
holy are the clouds starting to push in now.
I was going to say, if you get some action cam footage of those clouds moving in, just time-lapse that up a little bit, it should be really impressive.
Well, it's going on the right angle right now. So when I
I
talk...
was just looking.
Oh, here's a bite, here's a bite. I'm in, I gotta go.
Okay.
Bye. So again, caught not ready. I was literally just having a video chat with Goldie. He was, I was going over what shots we've had, you know, what we've done for the video so far, and that we'd had 3 fish. And yeah, while I'm chatting with him, rod tip gave a little bounce and then went slack and then started to peel. So I had to let him go drop the phone real quick. And it's funny too, because I had literally just said to him, you know what, I want to get some, a few more shots, maybe 1 more fish, and could wrap up the video. And his focus was get a time-lapse shot of the clouds coming in. Like, okay, I won't worry about the 4th fish. I'll get the time-lapse of the clouds. But yeah, what a delight this has been. These have been really strong fish. They're all fighting a little bit different from each other. But compared to last week, instead of fishing over here or in close, I'm fishing over to the right, over what I think is deeper water with a little bit more gravel, some more zebra mussels, probably some more natural food. And after that last fish, because I had lost my pop-up, I put the 12mm pop-up with the size 8 hook rig on while I redid the size 6 with the 15, and that's what I had out there was the 12mm, and it's got me another fish. I'm really liking this German rig. carp. Yes. Another smaller fish. A little bit bigger than the smallest. But man, such quality, nice looking fish. Boom. Fish number 4. Not a long one. Not a big one, but a very, very fat one. All really full, healthy fish. And all very, very lively as well. Stop it. One last look. Can I get this one back? So pleased today. So happy. I've had a pretty killer morning so far. I have nothing to complain about and everything to be like over the moon about. Had 4 fish so far. It started out as a gorgeous morning with all that fog rolling in. Didn't get too hot. You know, by this time last week it was like 25 degrees. Still a nice mild breeze. While a lot of the clouds have pushed out, there is another wave of them coming. We are expecting some weather later today, so you know, I do expect it to cloud over and rain at some point, but for right now I'm thinking I'm probably going to wrap up this video. Very, very pleased with the German rig, and you know, just this spot overall, having been away from it for so long, coming back last week doing well, coming back today doing even better. You know, if I can winkle one fish out, you know, to kind of end it at 5, I'll be more than happy, but I'm really, really satisfied with how well it's gone today so far. I do have other plans. Oh, yeah, you saw me, didn't you? Damn cormorant. I do have other plans. I'm going to shoot another video today while I'm out, you know, while I've got a little bit of time. Funny enough, I'm going to be starting here, but I'm not fishing carp. I'm going to be fishing bass. I got the old lure rods out to give it a shot. Yeah, there's some really nice bass spots around here. So, you know, I wanted to get a carp video done this morning, a bass video done in the afternoon, hoping that would, you know, satisfy my itch for some predatory fish. I try to get out at least once a year to do it. But, yeah, the wind hasn't come in like it was supposed to. The clouds and the rain really didn't come in the way they were supposed to, so I couldn't have asked for better conditions and a better session. So yeah, like I said, if I can get one more, I'll show it to you and I'll be happy. But if not, I really enjoyed putting this video together this morning. It's been a lot of fun, and talking with the other guys. You know, Kevin nailed one this morning as well at his spot, and Goldie walked over to take some pictures for him. So yeah, a great time. You know, hopefully Demir and his buddy will get some this morning where they are. But yeah, I can't say enough. I'm super positive, super pumped. Just a great morning overall. I know I'm getting liners over there. The tip's bouncing, the bobbin's giving a little bit of a quiver. The fish are still on my bait. They're there. I have a good chance. I just want it to rip off and get one more. And then I can just throw this gear in the van, grab the other gear, and hopefully shoot something else pretty cool. Yeah, see you next time.